Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi, thank you for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. Foundation Friday is when we go back in time and look at some of the wisdom that formed the foundation of unity as we know it today. Today's lesson comes from Grace Awakening, a 75-page program that's available to you free of charge at truthunity.net. We are still in the first chapter looking at the second lesson. The first lesson already came out on Foundation Friday, so if you're interested, you can look that up. The first one was called Grace as Love. This one is grace is the nature of being and grace functioning as salvation. They were short, so I put them together. So I hope you enjoy this lesson from Grace Awakening. Grace is the nature of being. God's grace is the gift of Himself in appearing on earth as each of us. God the Father is appearing on earth as God the Son, and these are one, not two. Therefore, all that the Father has is ours. All that God is, we are. Once we have overcome our religious superstition and ignorance. From Joel Goldsmith, Beyond Words and Thoughts. Grace has nothing to do with anything that anyone else has ever done, nor with any outward activity on our part. Grace is an inner realization that we are already one with God, always have been, and always will be. The only separation is a false belief in our own mind. Grace is simply the truth of being, which we are. And that's a quote from Margaret Pounder's Laws of Love. We are created in the image and likeness of God. Therefore, our true nature is the same of God's, which is love. When our consciousness expresses from its true nature, grace is the experience. But when it expresses from some other state, such as unforgiveness, fear, anger, resentment, and so on, then pain and suffering result. We can never be separated from the activity of grace, but we can feel as though we are whenever we function from a level of mind-heart energy that is foreign to our natural Christ nature. Grace functioning as salvation. Grace is always present and available whether we realize it or not. That's a quote from Donald Curtis in New Age Understanding. Grace, goodwill, favor, disposition to show mercy, and aid from God in the process of regeneration. By grace, you have been saved. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ, John 1:17. That is the real saving, redeeming, transforming power came to man through the work that Jesus did in establishing for the race a new and higher consciousness in the earth. We can enter into this consciousness by faith in Him. and by means of our inner spirit of the law that he taught and practiced. From the Revealing Word by Charles Fillmore on Grace. Salvation. This is also from the Revealing Word. It comes as a result of redemption, the change from sin to righteousness. Salvation comes to man as a free gift from God, grace. It embodies a knowledge of man that frees one from all limitations and points the way by which mind and body may be lifted up to the spiritual place of consciousness. And this is from the Harper Bible Dictionary. The grace of God is that quality of God's nature which is the source of men's undeserved blessing. In particular, those blessings which have to do with their salvation from sin. Jesus raised the blood of his body to spiritual potency. This purified blood was sown as seed in our raised thought, and it can be appropriated by anyone who raises his thoughts to those of Jesus. This is accomplished through faith in Jesus to save one from sin, to inspire one with his spirit, or through asking Jesus to come to the aid of the sin-sick mind or suffering body. A single atom of purified blood of Jesus can begin a vitalizing and purifying work in mind and body that will continue until the Christ man appears. That quote was from the book Keep a True Lent by Charles Fillmore, who is, of course, Unity's co-founder. This is another quote from Keep a True Lent. The body receives the benefit of salvation through prayer and spiritual meditation. In this way, the substance of spirit is carried by living words of truth into every part of the body, and its quickening power makes alive the whole organism. In Unity, we understand salvation as a literal freeing of the mind and heart of the burden of past sins. Sins are, of course, error choices. We are freed from the energy of these error choices by the grace of God every time we enter into the inner spirit of the law that Jesus taught and practiced, which is love. Grace redeems the soul and saves it from the constant merry-go-round of karmic law. Grace is the most benevolent activity of God known to mankind. It is the regenerative power of love that literally saves us from the full measure of our mistakes. It is the power within us to overcome and transform any negative state of consciousness or outer manifestation. It heals, purifies, regenerates, and restores us to our natural state of being. So those are lessons on grace, functioning as salvation, and the nature of being. I hope you'll look up this whole set of lessons. It's 75 pages and it's free, open to you at truthunity.net, a great website. Before we go, please know you matter. You are sacred, and you are so, so very loved. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.